Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bootcamp Blueprint, the place where personal trainers go to grow their fitness business. I'm super excited because we've got an absolute rock star on the other end of the line this week. And not only that, it gets a bit better because he's actually a local. You'll notice on this podcast, we interview people from all over the world, New York City, California, UK, Western Australia, New Zealand. And I've got someone that lives just down the road from me. So this person's a friend of mine, very successful studio owner. They own a very successful studio in the south of Sydney there. And now this person actually helps other trainers do the same to grow their studios or to grow their fitness businesses. So I'm super excited to introduce the one and only Mr. David Misfud. David, how are you?
Thanks, John. I appreciate it, mate. I'm very well. How are you going?
Yes, I'm awesome myself. Hey, David, I like to start all these podcasts off with a quote or mantra that inspires you or fires you up. Have you got one for us?
A quote or mantra that fires you up. Man, I've got, I do a little blog, and I wrote a blog a few weeks ago and had like 25 of my favorite kind of so where to begin? Lately I've been thinking about this. It's I think it's from Ben Franklin or something like that. And he said, that which hurts instructs. And it's like, it's a bit of a reframe on like pain and failure, that which hurts instructs. So, when we face challenge or things go wrong, it's like, that's actually the thing we need to see to give us the direction. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, that like if something goes wrong in your business, but like that's what you needed to see to now fix that problem. And you almost have to, in a weird way, chase the pain and chase the problems. So yeah, that's one that sort of flowed through my mind a lot. I sort of repeat to myself when things are going downhill, like they do in business. You go up, you go down, right? Like it's not a smooth ride to the top. It's a fucking roller coaster.
I agree with that 100%. And I do actively chase that. I find if everything's too easy and I'm too comfortable, that's when I get worried because I know there's a down point coming soon, right? So I will definitely chase that pain. And, I want to find something that pushes me. And then I actually enjoy failing because I think that's the easiest way to learn. If you don't, that's my take. I think if I want to learn something, great, I'll go out and do it. And if I fail from it, then great, it's a learning experience. I love that there.
There are people out there not failing at all. And that's like the true failure, right? Like they're not even in the arena trying like that. Just to finish that off, I think that's very true. So anyway.
Agree with that. I mean, that's a topic you and me could go all day on, right?
I think so. Yeah.
But, hey, David, I'd love to hear. I obviously know a little bit about yourself, and we've met up a couple of times, and I follow you on social. But my listeners are out there, and they're like, David Misfud, never heard of this guy. Do you want to give us the rundown? Do you want to let us know what you do? And I know you do a couple of things at the moment, so you can run into those. Yeah. Also, let us know how you got there, and feel free to start wherever you want to start. And I'm going to leave it to you to take as long as you want to go, and let's hear the story of David Misfud.
That's cool. We'll try to keep some brevity. We'll start from the beginning, or you probably should. But I never got into business to be good at business. I was overweight as a kid, and I found the gym and had a personal trainer, lost weight, and that just changed my entire life. More just than physical, it was the mental, the confidence, the mindset. And then I started studying exercise science because I got a passion for it now, and like a lot of exercise science students didn't know what the hell I was doing with that. So naturally, just became a personal trainer because I thought, hell, I like training people. I can probably. I don't know. I was working at a pizza shop at the time. Thinking it probably make more money being a PT than delivering pizzas. So, convinced mum to help me pay for that PT certificate and then pay it back and all that. And then I actually got very lucky. Got my first job as a PT because I had a friend who was the PT manager at a Good Life Health Clubs. Good Life Health Clubs?
Yes, the one at Menai, was it, I'm guessing?
It was Menai, correct. And they had a job application, and I literally just messaged him on Facebook. Didn't even do like the SEEP application. I just messaged him. I was like, "Oh, hey man, I saw you guys are hiring, and I've just got qualified, looking for my first gig." He's like, "Come on in tomorrow." Went in there. It wasn't even an interview. It was like 15-minute chat. He's like, "Well, if you want it, you can have it, man." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." And little did I know that the way they are set up, I'm sure you know this, is you pay the gym rent and you got to get your own clients. So you essentially run your own business. And look, the gym makes money off you. So they're not going to tell you the reality and how hard it can really be to get clients. They're just going to be like, yeah, there's heaps of members in the gym and you'll get clients and all that. And like, oh, sweet, must be easy. And then reality kicks in and it's not easy, right? And I quickly learned I was in the deep end of running an actual business. And that was when I sort of had the light bulb of like, all right, I knew my stuff pretty well. Like I knew the body, I'd done, exercise science. I knew the anatomy, the physiology, the training, nutrition, but I had no idea how to get clients. So it took probably a good 3 to 6 months before I could even sales making any money. I was still delivering pizzas on the weekend just to get by. Long story short, I literally bumped into a business coach at a networking event who I ended up in his sales funnel. I'm on the phone to him and he's telling me his 8-week program, and it was $4,000 plus GST. Didn't tell you that. So it was $4,400. I was broke. I'm still working at this restaurant, delivering pizzas, not making any money. And who knows? Was it naivety? Was it just me being too confident? Whatever. I decided to do that. Payment plan didn't pay it off. Payment plan didn't tell my girlfriend, didn't tell my mum. And that program, I probably quadrupled my PT business at the gym. I probably went from a couple $100 a week to probably $1,000, $1,500 a week, which for a 20-year-old guy still at uni, that was fucking cool at the time, right? Like that was more money I've ever seen in my life. So I thought I was like a baller, right?
Let's just I'll do a little bit of a take there, because I think that's a very important point there, because this is one point where at 20 years old, I think you discovered a very important lesson, because I speak to people all the time, and not 20-year-olds, like 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds that are like, I really, really want to be successful, but $4,000, that's a lot of money. I'm not going to invest $4,000. I'd love to, but I don't have the money, or the usual excuses there. And it depends, like it's relative what's a lot of money. Because I'm sure even a lot of the listeners here are listening to this being like, you spent $4,000? I can't believe you spent $4,000 on that. That's so much money. I would never spend $4,000 on that. And I think it's all relative, right? Because listening to this, I'm pretty sure most people here would have spent more than $4,000 on something, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's a wedding, so you probably
that trip to Europe that you didn't need. Yeah,
exactly. Trip to Europe, spent it on something before, so it's not necessarily a question of it's too much money that I don't have. It's a question of I don't value enough for that. But if you look at those figures, David said he went from, let's just say, would you say you made an extra $1,000 a week by the end of that program?
100%. By the end of it, I was making $1,000 a week more than when I started.
So really, within 4 weeks, you'd paid it off. So you spent $4,000, which is a lot of money, but 4 weeks later, you've made that money back, and the rest of your life, the rest of the 40, 60, 80 years you're going to live, you're doing it back from there. So I just wanted to say to the listeners there, David just very brushed over it. Oh yeah, I did a program, $4,000, and I was very successful. But it is a very, very important point where if you want to get ahead, that's the fastest way to do it. And it's funny because we touched on failures before, right? Because this is my take. I think there's 3 ways to learn something. You can either learn it the easy way, which is get someone else to teach you who's freaking done it before. You can do it the hard way, which is to go out and learn your own. Or you can do it the tragic way, which is just to do absolutely nothing and stay where you are. Now, the tragic way is obviously the worst, right? If you're listening to this, don't do that.
So you learn with regret at the end. If you do that, you'll regret it, and that's how you'll end up learning it.
Exactly. True.
Yeah,
the hard way is better. So the hard way is better than the tragic way. You're still learning. It's probably going to take you a lot longer and cost you a lot more, but you're still learning. But the easy way is just get someone else to teach you, and you can make your money back in a few weeks. But just wanted to touch on that. But sorry, continue on.
Yeah, like we're gonna stay with this because I'll tell you where the story goes next. But like that point is crazy. And here's the thing: I only had the confidence to do that from my like weight loss journey and progress, because that gave me this mindset that I can do anything I put my mind to. That's what I got from that. So that's why I always sort of say, yeah, I got some physical results, but it wasn't about that. It was what happened up here, because I conquered the biggest thing in my life. My entire childhood was that bogged me down for years. And to finally realize, I just had to put in the work and be consistent. That changed. It was this light bulb. It was like, well, what can I do? Like that was the hardest thing in my life for so long. It's gone. It's the end of it. So if someone's struggling in any area of your life, if you tackle that area of your life you're struggling the most, it's not so much what comes of that. It's the confidence you get that nothing will stop you. And I think that's really cool. So that helped me with the confidence to do that. And here's where it gets crazy. I do that. I'm doing pretty well as a PT at Good Life, making, again, for a 20-year-old uni student, making pretty good money. And then it was the end of the year, and I finished this first program. I've got 1 more year of uni to go to graduate. And I'm back on the phone with the business coach who I did the program with. And he tells me he's got a mastermind now. And it's a 12-month mastermind that you're meant to do after this one had been successful, and he wanted to invite me to it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, what would we do now? I'm doing pretty well. And he goes, what's your big dream? And I go, look, having a gym, I guess it'd be cool. Like that. I follow guys online who have gyms. And so I sort of looked up to them and went, that's the pinnacle. And he was like, awesome, let's start a gym. I'm like, what the fuck? I have no idea how to start it, no idea where I'm getting it from. He goes, let's do this 12-month mastermind, and we're going to set a goal of having a gym. I was like, all right, cool. How much is mastermind? $25,000.
Ooh.
25K. I'm making $1,000 a week maybe here, but I hadn't stacked cash for very long. It wasn't that much in the bank account. So I definitely don't have anywhere near 25K. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, look, man, I got uni. I think trying to open a gym on uni is too much. He goes, all right, drop out of uni. And I was like, wow. So that was my ultimatum. And again, I think a lot of it just came back to confidence in myself that I'd make it work. And I decided, again, without consulting anyone, didn't ask a single person, dropped out of uni, committed to the 25K program. And I had a gym 4 months later.
Wow.
So,
Can we even
yeah.
stop there for a sec? How hard was that decision? I'm curious because there's a few different ways this can go. Was it easy or hard?
I wish I could go back. It feels like it was easy, but it definitely. This guy was a very good salesman. He had a lot of belief in himself, and he was very good at transferring belief. So he went in his shoes. He believed he could make a gym work because he believed he could do anything. And I got that. And I just went, fuck, if this works, like we're doing the numbers, we're going to have 100 clients paying you $80 a week. So that's this much. So like it made 25K not look like a lot as well, right? Very, very good salesman, very good salesman. And that was it. I was so hell bent on that. I was like, fuck, if this gym was making 150K in 12 months time, I'm not going to get to think about 25K and be like, whatever, it was necessary. So it was certainly a hard decision. I don't know. I think it was, what he got me on? This is a sales lesson. Everyone's got different buying motivators. They've got reasons they buy more than others. I'm very driven by status. I feel like I got a bit of a chip on my shoulder. Okay. And I think that's because I was overweight when I was younger. I didn't feel very confident, popular. I've got this I want to prove to people. And he kind of put it to me like, what sounds better, man? Do you want to have a uni degree that hundreds of thousands of people have at 21, or do you want to have a gym? And I was like, man, I want a motherfucking, that's not even a question. And he was like, let's do it. So sales lesson, if you can dig into why people buy stuff, because some people buy for status, some buy for security, some buy for things, they will make decisions that you might think is ridiculous. But if you hit that thing on the head, when he put that challenge to me, like if I said no, it wasn't saying no to his program. I was backing down from my goals.
Yes.
If I said no, that's how he made me see this scenario. So if you're selling fitness, as much as it's about them choosing to do your program or not, if you can make it to them seem like I'm choosing between my family's health, maybe if you've helped the mum realize that she needs to get healthy to influence the whole family, now her saying no to you is not saying no to her, it's saying no to her family. And a mum will never. So sales lesson, get to why people buy stuff, and you'll be able to make them make decisions. So that's where it came from. And again, just the confidence. I just had this. I'll make it work. Like I didn't know how to figure it out. And I remember getting the lease, right? So this is a quick story. I had nothing behind me, no assets. I hadn't even shown a year of income. So I was unemployed I got cash pay as Italian restaurant. So I went to get a lease for a place, found a place I liked. I was like, cool, I need a lease. I went to talk to the agent and he's like, I filled the form and if they like it, you get the lease. Filled it out. And they're like, yeah, they're not going to give you a lease. Because you have no, how the fuck do they have any proof you're going to pay this? You've never done a year of working. You literally look unemployed. So I was like, fuck, there goes the whole gym plan. And they were like, the only way around is to get a guarantor who has assets. And I was like, well, here we go. So I had to go to my dad, asked my mom, she said no. And I pretty much had to pitch my dad on being the guarantor of my first lease because they weren't going to give it to me. He doesn't know how well I'm doing. He doesn't know the numbers and stuff. This is another example of you're always selling in life. You're either selling yourself or selling your products. I have to sell myself and my ability to my dad to put his name on the lease that if I can't pay this lease, he's liable for it. And again, I like tons of gratitude to my dad for, I guess, believing in me. He did that. Went back to the agent. Hey, here's my guarantor. All right, you can have it. And I had to do that to get the first lease. So we opened the first gym. And yeah, I mean, obviously there's tons of stuff happening there. We can dive into all the lessons from growing it. That was 4.5 years ago now. And yeah, we're at a pretty good place. We got 3 staff plus a virtual assistant that are amazing and help me run it and grow it. And about 12 months ago, after systemizing that and just people wanting advice, I decided to start helping other gym owners do it as well, just from helping friends. And I was in this 12-month program and I found I was helping people throughout it so much, and I was almost being their free business coach in this program. And I think that already gave me some skills around helping other people's business. I'd go to retreats or I'd go to events and I'd just network with people and be like, I'm struggling with this. And I'd solve their problem in 5 minutes. And they were like, fuck, you're pretty good at this, man. And so it started very organically. And then about 12 months ago, I pulled the trigger and was like, all right, let's set this up. Let's make this another business. Let's start coaching people. So about a year ago, I started coaching gym owners, boot camps, PTs on growing their business. And yeah, now that's going pretty cool too. And that's much more of your traditional lifestyle business. It's online. There's a program people follow, Facebook group, weekly live calls. So it's been good trying to learn a different business model as well. to running the traditional brick and mortar. I've done that. Now I'm running this online one. I've got a bit of background doing both now.
Yes.
So that's where we are now. And it's just a fun game of building both up, to be honest. I love it. I've developed this passion for business that just came out of having to solve my own problems. And I just think it's so beautiful to be able to create something that adds value and you reap the benefits.
Yes, I love that on so many different ways. So I just want to touch as well. You've got a webinar, Dave, that I'm going to put in the show notes that can help people grow their fitness business. Is that specific for gyms, studios, trainers? Who
Group fitness businesses will benefit the most.
Yep.
And look, my specialty is in gyms and studios. So that's what I've done. So I think it's always good to coach what you've done because you know it. You know, you wouldn't hire a CrossFit coach to get you ready for a bodybuilding comp. So if you want to build your gym, get someone who's built a gym, like a small studio group training facility. PTs, yeah, they'll benefit a little bit. Boot camps, definitely too. Mainly group fitness. And it's a big picture look, this webinar, on kind of the main elements that people need to put in place to grow. And if you do that, then like it's the big rocks. It's the big rock stuff. Obviously, we can't go into every single thing on that webinar that could be in your way. But it's the principles that you can go, oh, that's the one for me that I need a bit of help with. And obviously, you can have a chat to me if you wanted to for any more specific advice from that. But yeah, awesome. You can have a look at that.
Awesome. I'll put that in the show notes. Just a few things I want to touch on Dave's story, which I really loved. So even the $25,000 one, it's funny because I had a very similar experience myself where my goal was always to make $1 million in a year. Was like, all right, that's what I want to do. I want to make $1 million in a year. And then it was a similar pitch. You know, a business coach was like, hey, I've got this 12-month mastermind. It's $25,000. And they essentially did the same thing. It was like, well, hold on. You want to be a millionaire, but you're hesitant to invest $25,000. What would the millionaire do? If someone had $1 million, are they going to invest $25,000 or are they going to be tight about it? And that's the way it got me. And the reason I asked about the whole easy, hard question, where similar to me, where it wasn't a super easy decision, but it still was somewhat easy because I had that purpose. I was like, hey, I want to make X amount of dollars in my fitness business. I'm so driven to make that there. And I feel for the listeners, that's a good takeaway as well. It's like, well, how much do you want it? You know, if you really, let's say you're running a studio, let's say you're running a boot camp, do you really, really want it to be successful and make $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 a year? Well, hey, these are sort of things you're going to invest in to get that. If you only half want to do it, if you want to run a successful studio or gym or boot camp, but you only half want to do it, you know, you'd prefer to spend that $25,000 on this or on that, or that $5,000 or on this or on that. Well, hey, then it's going to be a hard decision. But if you're set on your mind and you're like, this is definitely what I want to do, it becomes so much easier. And then you just find
I wasn't sure we were going to go on there. It's so true what you said about your identity was I want to make $1 million a year. And so you made your actions based on that identity and that's why you made that decision. But it's actually, you can flip that as well in a sense of you may think, I want to see myself this way. I want to be the big dog business owner, or in fitness, same thing. I want to see myself as this person. A lot of people think you need to see it before you do any action, but sometimes I think that works. For some people, it doesn't line up. So the opposite is to act your way into new identity or new way of thinking. And that's actually how a lot of identities are built. You become a fitness person by going to the gym. You don't become that by sitting on the couch going, I'm a fitness person. So what I mean by this is if you want to see yourself as a bigger light, if you make the action to drop 25K, your identity instantly catches up. Because there's no way a person who doesn't think big drops 25K into a program. It doesn't balance in your brain. So it's actually the quickest way to change your self-image is to do actions that don't align with your current one. They align with the one you want to be, and your mindset catches up. So it's actually funny in sales. If you start selling something more expensive, your perceived value goes up as well. So if you join my program, Jono, and I charge you $300,000, how I feel like I better fucking over deliver. I've got to deliver. I must be good too. If I'm charging you $300,000, I must be good. So my perceived value goes up. And your perceived value goes up because you dropped $300K into a program. So it's one of those things that when I did it, I instantly was like on another level before I'd even done anything. Because I just had that confidence to do that. And I knew most people wouldn't. And then I'm in a group of people in a mastermind all thinking that same way. And now I'm going to start thinking like them and I'm going to catch up to them. They're going to pull me up. So I'm really passionate about it because if I said no to that guy, and I went, I could easily have said, I've got a year of uni, man. Talk to me in a year. I'm making money now. I'm going to get my degree and then I'll see what I want to do. Easy objection. Could have done it. Could have said no, it's a lot of money, whatever. If I said no, I might have got to where I am eventually, but it wouldn't have been at the same speed. It would have been way slow. It might have been 5 years down the line, 10 years. And, if anyone wants to motivate themselves, think about delaying your goals by 10 years. That'll motivate you to take some fucking action. It's one of the most common ways when I listen to people motivated. They're motivated by that fear of wasting time and regret. And when you realize that money is that trade-off for time. Money can time collapse. If you sort of connect to that regret of wasting it, you'll be like, you know what, the money can be made, money can be lost. Time can't be.
Yes.
Time's only used. I'm very passionate about that because I'm very thankful that guy was a good salesman. Like, I'm grateful that he did not let me get off that phone until I said yes, because it changed my life. So another one for sales, you've got to believe that you're helping people make a good decision for themselves.
Yes, love that there. And I want to expand on a couple of those things as well. I love the action. I even bring it down to a simpler side of things, right? Where if you're not sure on something, action is the way to get you sure, because you take that action and you figure out pretty quick, okay, yes, that was the right decision, I'm down this, or okay, shit, that was the wrong decision. At least I know that's definitely not for me. How can I go the other way? And I'd prefer to find that out a lot freaking quicker, right? So I love that side of things there. And I just love that mastermind principle as well, where it's like, and even the investing, it's like, okay, just by spending that much amount of money, it's going to put you ahead of your competition. And it doesn't even, and we can even break that down smaller. Like if you're listening to this now and you're like, man, I don't have $25,000 in my bank account, so there's no possible way that I'm going to drop $25,000 and do a program, but it might start off smaller. It might get to maybe $2,000 is a stretch for you. And you're like, okay, and you just compare it. I like to compare it to someone else in the same situation. Let's say me and Dave both run a local studio, right? And we're both on exactly the same amount of money. And there's some program which is, I don't know, let's say $5,000. It's a stretch for both of us. Neither of us have it. We have to go on a payment plan. And Dave goes for it. He's like, shit, I'm going to do it. And I don't go for it. I'm like, nah, it's too much money, right? Dave might do it. That might only put him a little bit ahead of me. That might mean that now he makes an extra, $1,000 a month than me, right? But that's fine, because 4 months' time, that's already evened out. And then a year later, he's got an extra $12,000 or whatever it is on me. Now when a program comes around, which is $10,000, I still can't do it. But now Dave can do it. And he does the $10,000 one. And as a result, now he's got an extra $2,000 there. So you're listening to this, don't think that it's got to be, if you can, great, drop $25,000 if you got it. But if you don't, it can also be a process working up there as well. So I love that. But
That's so really good.
What I'd like to move on from here, Dave, I could go all day on this sort of stuff, right? This is why I love chatting to you. But also like to give some of my listeners, some practical tips. We've gone some of the motivation stuff, the mindset stuff. Let's say the practical side. So let's say your ideal client, they're running like a studio which runs group fitness classes, like you might not like this comparison, but like a variation of an F45 sort of thing, right? Is that your ideal?
Yep. Cool. Awesome. As long as it's group classes, what I teach. Honestly, I have got PT studios, but the group classes is a little bit less moving parts generally, because it's just moving the class, start training.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you could give us your top three, and we can go a few different ways with this. I think there's two ways to do a top three. You can either say the top three mistakes that you see most studio gym owners make and how to fix them, or we can just go, hey, here are the top three things where if you implement this straight away, you're going to see an increase in revenue or an increase in clients, or those three might even be the exact same thing. But I'm happy to leave it with you. If you could give your best three nuggets, what would you say?
I think we can do it all in one hit. The number one, most guys I talk to, their issue is acquisition. The issue is getting more bums on seats. There are people out there who I think have issues with retention and stuff. Most commonly, the problem is I need more clients to come in the door, which when you're small and you haven't got issues of scaling is the problem. The absolute number one biggest mistake people are making with that is they don't have a very good front end offer to make people that they can generate clients quickly off. And so the common old school way is like trials or super cheap offers. And I did this myself. I made all these mistakes. My first ever offer I made back when Facebook ads were the cheapest thing in the world, and I had the glory days when I got into it, it was 28 days for $28. Sounds pretty cool, right? That's a good offer. You get people in the door. And we did. We got people in the door, but most of them didn't value it. Most of them didn't stay on because the price hike after was too much for them. And they just didn't stick to it, to be honest, because they didn't value it. So most people and now Facebook's too expensive that you're dead in the water. So the old school method is trials, is low barrier offers. It was very popular, something like that. With Facebook and using marketing now to get clients, because that is honestly the fastest way to get to people is paid advertising. If you want to grow quickly, it's the best way still. you don't, it's not a good enough offer to get leads any cheaper, because a trial or a 14-day thing, you can't deliver much of a result in that time frame versus a longer program that has a clear outcome. You then can't recoup your marketing spend quick enough to actually use that and scale it. So if you're doing a 7-day trial, say you run ads week 1, you actually get people to turn up at the gym week 2, because they're not going to turn up the day you run it. So they turn up week 2, they like it for 7 days, they put pen to paper week 3, you take their first week, and then your payment processor has a week generally to release the funds or something similar. So you don't see your dollar spend for sometimes 3, 4, 5 weeks later. It's very hard, unless you have very deep pockets, to actually scale that. So the best thing that everyone can do is create a front-end program that is, 1, unique to you, 2, extremely valuable. Give them more than just training, nutrition, extra stuff, accountability, fun things with it. Charge more money for that, because people will pay more money because they're getting more. And then you can actually scale marketing off that a lot faster. And then you can get clients in the door quicker, and you can grow, and you don't need to allocate tons of money for marketing, because it pays for itself. If you're really struggling for cash flow, sell it up front. So 6-week program, 8-week program, sell it for $500. That's how people have to pay. If they object, sure, 2-part payment plan, you have as a downsell. But if 1 in 3 take up on it, they've paid for your ad spend, and you can build them that day. So a week later, your ads are taken care of. That's the fastest way. And honestly, that's the biggest nugget I teach most people, is how to do that. Because if you just do that well, even if everything else is shit, you'll still grow, and you'll get clients, you have a way to get it. That is easily the biggest thing people do. And you can make that offer irresistible in a few ways. There's a classic, like in the gym world, to do a kind of like money back kind of thing, where you can get it for free, but you really just get money back. That works. You could just say a money back guaranteed if you're not happy. You could offer extra. There's a lot of different things you can add to it to sweeten the deal. But end of the day, the offer is what matters the most. Like if something's not working, it's generally the offer. It's generally what it's perceived. What do people think they're getting? And they can get a trial anywhere. So a trial, a low barrier offer, it's just essentially saying, people come and train with us, that's all we got. As opposed to, hey, we get results and we can do it. That's hands down the biggest thing I teach people. The second one from that then is getting good at sales. And almost everyone I talk to thinks they're good at sales, and they think they're good at sales because they've only had to sell to very warm prospects. So if you get word of mouth, you get referrals, they don't take a lot of selling. They don't take a lot of selling. When you get someone who's just clicked on an ad and giving you their number because they want help, they've gone, yeah, I need help, I've seen your ad, looks good, but they don't actually know you that well, and they've never heard it. That is sales, because now you actually have to get good at quickly building rapport, quickly finding out why they want to do it, buying motivators. They're going to give you an objection because they're like, fuck, do I want to do this? Getting good at sales allows you to just so much quicker get where you want to be, because then you can charge people $500 when they come in, you know how to sell it, and boom, you're off and running. If you're like, think about a conversion rate. If you take your conversion rate from like 50%, who come into 60, 75%, like that is humongous. There's a massive change. You can now, if you all things staying equal, you can spend another 1/3 on your marketing straight like that, which means you can acquire 1/3 more customers. So you can do the math. Or you could drop your ad spend down, because now you're acquiring more of the leads, so you don't have to spend as much. So your sales conversion rate is one of the biggest levers that you can run. If you're really bad at sales, practice, like role play with people. I used to write down everything I know I should be saying. I'd role play with a best friend or role play with someone. That goes a long way. Like you can take sales training courses, obviously, watch videos. Like an NFL team watching the game footage. If you have a sale and someone says no, don't just get up and go about your day like nothing happened. Like sit there and be like, what the fuck went wrong? What was the objection? And what were 3 ways I could have overcome that?
Yes.
Sales is a skill. If you can get good at it, you will never go poor if you know how to sell. You may not, it's not the only thing to build an empire of a business, but you would never struggle cash flow wise, I think, if you can learn how to sell. And that's where knowing how to market is good, because you get an influx of leads to practice your skill set. So they go together really well. If you're really bad at sales, do things that make it less on you. What I mean by that is, if someone comes to your gym, have a pre-sales questionnaire they fill out. That's like their goals and what's struggling and why they need you. So just in case you don't do those questions, they'll tell you for you. In your gym studio, put photos behind you of before and afters of people's results. So there's a little extra trust. That stuff's good, because it's once it's done, it's done. You don't have to remember what to say. You don't have to bugger up your script. It's just behind you. There's all the photos, right? Things like that work. And just don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. Most people are just afraid to ask someone, like, why are you really here? Oh, I just saw your ad and I thought I'd click on it. I see about 100 ads every day. Let me ask you a better question. Why did you click on this ad today?
Mm.
Oh, right. And all of a sudden now you're there. Now you've got authority. That's huge. That's huge. Marketing, sales. If I remember hearing a mentor say this, that like if your business is under $1 million a year, you really just need to do 80% marketing and sales. And I didn't understand that when I started. I was like, oh yeah, but I got to train clients, man. You don't get it. It's true. It's true. If you're not at that point where you're making good money, it's marketing and sales. It's marketing and sales. The third one, there's a few places I could go with it. I think because I've done marketing and sales, look, getting your attention and your delivery right is also important. Unfortunately, a lot of people, again, have a warped view of how good they are, and they think they're better than they are. They think that our gym's the best and we have the best programming. Reality check for most people is they're not actually that good, and they need to be trying to like make it better. You can either make it better, the actual technical elements, be a better trainer, run better classes, better everything. Then there's the elements of with the clients, which is less skillful and just more doing it, checking in with people. If they miss a workout, get onto them straight away. If they're losing motivation, pump them back up, build community stuff. A lot of people are doing that stuff a little bit, but again, it's a pretty big lever. If your attrition rate is 10% per month, you lose 10% of your members every month, and you've got 100 members, you lose 10 a month. If you can bring that down to 6 or 7, let's say bring that to 7, that's 3 less members you lose a month. Over the course of a year, that's 36 members. If you're charging $200 a month, 36 times 200 a month, what's that? Like 6,000 a month? And that's just like a 3% change in your attrition. So if you did nothing else differently, you end up with $6,000 a month more at the end. So that's another massive lever that is a result of actually being good at what you do and then putting in the systems to care about it. And that one for me is the one I didn't do for so long. I figured out the sales marketing pretty quick. I realized that I'd spent the time, I had my business coach, $25K a year. They taught me sales and marketing really well, but I didn't focus on retention. And so I have a bit of a revolving door in my gym for a year or two. People come in, but people leave. Now, what it did is it made me really good at the sales and marketing. I had to keep on doing it. But if I could go back, I would slap myself over the head and be like, cool, you know how to get clients now? Fucking figure out retention. And if you hate it, if you hate doing check-ins and following up with people, then as soon as you have the cash flow, pay someone to do it. Or find an intern or something. Like find a way to get someone to do it. Like you don't have to do everything in your business. Find a way to do it. It'll make you more money than it costs you. You pay someone a couple $100 a week, as we said, it saves you $6,000 a month reoccurring in the first year. So you pay someone $200 a week to spend 3-4 hours a week checking in with every client, get on the phone if they missed a session. It's worth its weight in gold. Yes. And that really, those 3 things really is the big picture, what people need to get right.
Yes, love that. I'll give a quick summary there because you can tell Dave knows his stuff. He raced through that. I'm going to simplify it as well for listeners in case you didn't get it. The first one was the front offer. Now, this will work perfect because this is exactly the same with the bootcamp scenario, and it's also exactly the same with online business. Spot on. So let's say, for example, if you're running an ad for a bootcamp and you're like, hey, free trial, yeah, okay, it's all right. But what might be a better one is, hey, here's my 12-week challenge. It's $50 a week for 12 weeks. You get access to 5 sessions a week. You also get a 12-week home program. You also get some basic nutrition guidelines. You get a clean eating recipe ebook, a clean eating smoothie and shake ebook. You get Jono's 7-day ab program and Dave's 7-day booty program. And you get access to the Facebook group. And week 2 is the no sugar challenge. And week 4 is the walking challenge. And week 6 is the bring a friend week. And week 8 we do an school course and yada, yada, yada. All of a sudden, that's pretty sexy. And it's like, okay, you know what? I might actually do that. So if we can sexy up that front end offer, and then if we look at it just financially, and I like what Dave said as well, where, hey, it's a $500 program. And ideally, you want to get that $500 then and there. Person's like, oh, it looks good, but I just don't have $500 up front. All right, cool. Hey, look, if you want to read this today, we do a payment plan, blah, 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 blah. But either way, let's say you do that. The way I look at it is you can balance out like this. Let's say, for example, you can say, all right, I'm going to put $500 on a Facebook ad this week, for example, right? If you do that, you might say, all right, I do and I'm just going to use easy numbers here to make it easy for the listeners. But let's say, all right, I'm going to put $500 on Facebook ads. As a result of that, I'm going to get 50 leads. That's pretty good, right? If you can get 50 leads off that. But just to keep the numbers simple, right? Great. I'm going to put $500 on. I'm going to get 50 leads. As long as one of those 50 signs up, you've made your money back, right? If 2 of those, and really, if you can, sales is the next point. If you can only get 1 out of 50, man, you got to do some sales work, right? 1 will sign up. Actually, to be honest, out of 50, 1 will sign up anyway, even if you suck at sales. Say from that.
You'll get probably
exactly. 2, you've doubled your money. 3 out of 50, you've tripled, right? So, but that only works if you're selling that 500 thing up front. If you're selling something for $20, and then you can only really use that philosophy if you're selling something like that. Because, I mean, you could use the philosophy and say, all right, I'm selling a $20 trial thing, so I'll put $20 on Facebook ads, but the numbers won't, that'll last for an hour. Right? Yeah, exactly. That'll last for an hour, So it's almost like, okay, great, I've got to have a program that costs $500, so that way I can put $500 on Facebook ads. I make 1, I've made my money back. I make 2, I profit, yada, yada, yada. So I love that.
I really want to just with that, because this is where I spend a lot of my time with clients, or I spend a lot of my time on sales calls. I literally had a sales call this morning where I broke all this down for someone, and I want to give more realistic numbers for people, because unless you're in a look, I have a client in Tasmania, and last week she booked in 57 appointments for sales. 57. Ridiculous. That's an outlier. If you're in an area that's relatively popular, or you've run ads before, the realistic numbers is this. I went to a sales call today. About 50% cost per acquisition is good. And that's what I aim for. Meaning, $500 program, if you put $250 into marketing to acquire 500, to me, you're golden, and go for it. Mortgage your house to put money on ads. Fucking go. For me, that's good. Go hard. A lot of people think that they should be getting a 20-1 off their ads. And trust me, unrealistic. About 50% cost per acquisition is awesome. I know businesses that are happy if they break even off their ads. If they spend $1,000, they got $1,000 out. They're stoked, because why? Now they have more customers. And if you have a customer bought once, they'll probably buy again something. They're in your database forever. And then there's retargeting. You spend $1,000 to make 1,000. Well, trust me, 200 people clicked on your page, watched a video on Facebook, and now you can retarget those 200 people, and they now have a little bit of trust. So even if you broke even on that, even if you did, which some people might, if you don't know how to run the best ads, not the best at sales, all good. Maybe you break even. You're actually winning, as opposed to sitting on your bum, staring at your screen, hoping an email comes in for someone to sign up, right? Yeah. And a lot of my clients don't get this because they want the immediate result. I get it. They drop thousands with me. I want to turn my business around tonight. Well, we tell people in fitness, you can't reverse 6 years of shit eating in 6 weeks. Why would our business be any different? You can't just instantly business around. And yes, there's sometimes little things we can do, like Hannah, who got 50 bookings in a week. She doesn't make a lot of money. But it takes time. So even if you're breaking even, you're winning. Go. If you just keep spending, you'll have more customers, you'll have more data. You'll know what ads work better, right? Even if your ads fail, they don't fail. You just bought some data. You just bought some data. Which ad works better, which ad works worse. That's all right. Just pay for it. And now you've got it. And now you can reiterate. And you've bought some retargeting, right? So that mindset with ads, this comes back to investing. Some people just play small. They play small. If I don't make 10 times my money back this week, I'm not doing this shit. Good luck, man. That's like the client walking in and like, can I lose 20 kilos in a month with your program? No? Oh, never mind then. See you later. Yeah. We'd be like, that's what we're doing in business because we don't know these numbers very well. That mindset is huge. And that's what I got out of my business coach at 25K. As much as with strategy, they were like abundant thinkers. They were like, go. They were just like, spend the money, figure it out, get the clients. And that's how I was 9 months into being a PT when I opened my gym. I've been a trainer for 9 months. How the fuck did I have any skills to grow a gym? I have nothing. But I was willing to spend. I was willing to go harder than gyms in the area. And so I snapped up the competition and it helped me get better as a PT because I had people coming in. That's a huge one.
Yes. I'll expand as well because I was speaking to a trainer the other day. They were looking for someone to do their Facebook ads. And they were like, Johnny, can you run them for me? And I don't really do that, but I'll have a chat and see if I can help you out. She's like, hey, I'm happy to pay if you can guarantee I'll get 3 times my money back. And I'm like, firstly, there's no guarantee. I'm not going to guarantee anything on Facebook. But secondly, where else in the world is someone going to guarantee you 3 times your money back? Like, imagine that. Oh, yeah, I'll go and invest in this house and tomorrow I'll get 3 times my money back. Or, hey, if that was the case, like, everyone would just do that. So it doesn't quite work like that. And even just another one. I'm on that philosophy as well, where it's like, great. Let's even use that $500 example. Great. You spend $500, even if we say $10, you spend, even let's say $20 per lead, right? So great. You spend $500, you get 25 leads. One of those leads signs up. You've broken even. You've got 24 leads that you can then email at week 6 and you'll bring a friend week. That you can, your next 12-week challenge that you're starting up, you can email then again. So I love that. And I was speaking to another trainer not too long ago, and it was about those numbers, but they had Yeah, 3 people sign up. And they were like, Jono, I don't know what to do. I put out this ad and I got 25 leads, but only 3 people signed up. I was so disappointed. Only 3 people signed up for my $500 program. And I was like, but hold on. So you put $500 in and you made $1,500 back and you're disappointed?
Yep.
So if we look at
Yep.
it like that, it's just more realistic. So I love that there. But also I want to add on that as well to also how important the follow-up is too, where it's like, you could just be like, all right, great. I spent, $500 and I made 1,500 back. Still, that's good. But to me, the value is also in those 22 other people that didn't sign up. Make sure you follow those up there. I think if you combine both those two, that's when you're winning. So
100%. And there's more methods these days than ever to follow up, because obviously there's email, which is simple. There's text automation systems. There's Facebook retargeting, which for those not super advanced, you can take any email list you've got, plug that into Facebook, and then retarget them. So you can just if someone opts in for my stuff and they don't come in, I'm like, that's cool. You're just going to see me for the next 6 months. And if you can keep saying no, then great. But all my retargeting stuff is like client testimonials, me with a client sharing their story, content. It's just human nature that you're going to keep seeing that and you're going to think, fuck, this guy has the solution, because I'm scripting that in a way that shows me as the expert and that tugs at your emotional. I'm going to show you Karen with 2 kids who had diabetes and now her life's changed. There's no way you can't start feeling shit when you watch that. There's more methods than ever for that. So again, if putting the money to buy these people onto this list it's worth its weight in gold. And again, business is a long game. If you do this for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, now you have a fuck off big email. I've got paid to build my email list, right? I didn't have to get it. I made money and built the list at the same time. They're not opposites. You can do them both. That's the same thing. I'm telling you, my business coaching, we're profitable for my ads, and I've got 1,000 email addresses. I've been running ads for 3 months. So it's I got paid to get 1,000 emails. I can email every day. I can put them in retargeting audiences, and they're like, oh my God, your ads follow me around. I'm like, yeah, no shit they do. Because you told me you wanted help. And now you pussied out of wanting to help. So I'm going to keep reminding you when you want help, here I am. So there's heaps of methods for it now. And again, if you're not playing the game, you've already lost. If you're not in it, trying it. And if your budget's, you can only spend $50 here and there, $100 or $10 a day, who cares? Do it, go for it.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. I love that. And then the next point was sales, where Dave just hit it on the head. That's the best way to scale your business, where it's okay, and even if we use those numbers, let's just use 10, right? Great. You've got 10 leads. You close 1 out of 10. Yeah, it's okay. You close 2 out of 10. You've doubled your income. Even though it's just one more sale there, you've doubled it there. And I think the reason why sales is such a powerful tool is it then doesn't matter where you get your leads from. It's not about, because that's another thing, you'll find, I find a lot of people, business owners, trainers will say, oh, do I get leads from Facebook, or do I get them from Instagram, or do I get them from this, or do I get them from that? If you know how to sell, it doesn't freaking matter. Because it doesn't matter where you get it from. If you've got that person, whether it's from a webinar, whether it's from a ad, whether it's from a group, whether it's referral, if you know how to sell, none of that matters. And and I think that's so important as well, because marketing's only half of it, right? And you can pay people to do your marketing, and there's ways that you can get a whole heap of leads. But if you don't know how to sell, most of that's wasted. So I think that's so important there. And the retention as well. Spot on. I love those things.
With the sales, look, if someone's out there struggling with sales, really quickly, this is probably the most, I think, broad advice with sales that I've found. And it's firstly an understanding that you ask someone all right, what am I selling? I'm selling a bootcamp or gym membership. Okay, great. What are you really selling? And they'll go, the somewhat more savvy ones go, well, I'm selling them on weight loss and the results. The pretty savvy ones go, no, I'm selling them on a feeling. I'm selling them feeling confident. I'm feeling happy in themselves. The really switched on ones go, you're not even selling that. We are only ever selling certainty, because when they decide to give you their credit card, they're not actually getting the result. They don't give you 16 digits and expiry and instantly lose the weight. What they're saying is, I'm buying your certainty that you will get me the results. That's all they walk away with from a sales interaction. So the most broad advice I can give anyone struggling with it is it's actually a lot about your certainty in the entire process, in yourself, that you can get a result. And stop trying to convince people that you're the best of their program. Convince yourself. If you convince yourself, people pick up that you're convinced, and they'll pick up what you're putting down, versus trying to convince them is a very needy thing. So people are buying certainty. Give them, that's what people crave as humans. We want that. People have done gyms before, they've done diets, it didn't work. So if they're going to do it again, they need the certainty. This is the solution for them. Realize that that is what you're selling, and you sell that through social proof. You sell that through knowing expertise. You sell that just through your energy when you talk to people. And that's why like we know people who could sell anything, right? You know who they are. And you're like, that motherfucker sell whatever they wanted to. It's very often just that they have this confidence, certain, and you can develop that. No one's born with it. It's a skill. Maybe when you were younger, some people got parented right and had more certainty than others. So maybe it was very early on developed, but it's not you're born or not born with it. You can develop certainty. I didn't know how to fucking sell. The first ever sales consultation I had, I still remember it. There's these two people. They were like my first ever leads at Good Life. I was like, oh, here's the personal training. What do you want to do? And they were like, oh, I guess I'll think about it. And I was like, oh, great. They're thinking about it. Awesome. That means they probably want to do it. They're thinking about it. And they obviously, when they walk out the door, they rarely walk back in. I didn't know how to sell. I had no sales background at all. It's just sets and reps, right? Like no one gets big biceps. No one's born with 20-inch arms. They fucking do the reps. No one's born with a sales skill. So practice it. And the more you do it, the more certain you get that. Sales is momentum as well. I don't know if you've had this, Jono, like you do a bunch of sales and it's flowing. And then for whatever reason, you have a break, like a couple of days off, a week off. And you get back and like, the fuck is like, it's like DOMS again in the gym. It's like, oh my God, why is it so hard again? It's a momentum game. And if you can get your lead flowing and trust and just go in, like it exponentially goes up, and you go on these flows of 10, 20, 30 straight sales. And you're like, how am I doing this? You're not even thinking. You've got to trust that if you just get into that flow, you will get better. But like no one can come in the gym and lift the weight for you. If they do, they get the muscle. No one can do the sales for you and you get better at sales. You have to just own it and be like, if you're in business, if you don't want to sell, get out of business. Yes. That's it. That's kind of it. Like if you create a training, shit at sales, go work for a company, be their head trainer, manage a few PTs and train 35 hours a week with a client and you'll make 2 to 3K a week. Excellent. But yeah, if you're in business, like this is the game you've played. If you get good at it and you can hire someone and teach them, now you've got something 90% of the population will never get, which is somebody else to help them grow this. It's not all on you. But like that's the journey you're committed to. Yes,
I love that. You've broken it down very well there because it's it's one of those things where if a trainer wants to, even just a trainer in the gym, I'm in the gym and I want to grow my business, but I suck at sales. You got two choices, right? Either get good at sales or you're not going to make it in that business there.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Imagine a client being like, I'm really bad at losing weight, but I don't want to stop emotionally eating a whole tub of ice cream every night. It's like, it's one or the other. Like, sorry. Like, it's just like life's hard. It's meant to be hard.
That's it. I can lie to you.
Like my quote at the start, that which hurts instructs, that might hurt to have someone tell you suck at sales. But guess what? That's just instructed you to go, this is the thing that if you overcome it, watch your income, watch your business grow. It's the truth. Jono, my laptop's low battery. I'm going to get a charger. I'll be like 30 seconds.
Easy. I will. So what I'll do here is because I can't be bothered going back in and cutting this bit out with Dave. So I'll just give a little bit of he's back here anyway. So what I'll do, Dave, just as you're charging it there. So we're actually coming to the end of the podcast here. There's a few questions that I always like to ask my guests at the end. Now,
Charge in.
Awesome. Cool. So the question that I like to finish off with is mentors, books, and podcasts. Now, you've teased along the way about this mentor here. It's up to you whether you want to give the name or, whether you want to share any other mentors you've had along the years that have helped you get to where you want to be. Or if you don't want to mention mentor, that's cool as well. What I also would like is if you've got any books that have helped change your life and you think my listeners could get a kick out of, or any podcasts. I believe you've got your podcast as well. I'd love for you to give that a shout. But yeah. Whatever you want to do, mentors, books, and podcasts.
Interesting. Look, the first mentor I had was a guy called Ryan Madges, and he runs a company, still runs it, called Winning International. I haven't worked with them for a while, and they've changed a lot how they go, and they're very niched into online coaches these days. So again, if you've got an online business and it's coaching, I'm not sure like what they're up to these days. I don't stay in touch that much, but that was what I did back in the day. I was very lucky that I actually got in as one of their first clients. So I got a lot of Ryan's attention as he scaled quickly. Like any business, as it scales quickly, that the guy at the top has to diffuse their stuff. So I got people that came in a year after me and got a very different experience, which is very normal. It's very natural. And it happens in a gym. You have your first 20 members or boot camp, 20 members, they get all the attention from you. They love you. And then you bring in 50 more and they're like, what's going on? Like number 70 doesn't get the same service as number 20. It's just scaling a business. So I was very lucky at the time. Ryan's still amazing what he does. I'm sure but that's very online coaching specific. Books, podcasts. My favorite books of all time, a couple of them. The Obstacle is the Way. It's by a guy called Ryan Holiday. You heard of it?
I haven't. No. And I'm a big
Not
reader.
about business.
I'm going to write this down.
You can take it away to business, but it's about Stoic philosophy. You've heard of Stoicism?
Not so much.
Oh man, this is a whole new world.
Yeah.
Ancient, I think it was Romans. It was what they used to like. Their philosophy was called Stoicism. It's kind of like a way to see the world and a model of the world. And I've just found that like the name of the book is The Obstacle is the Way. As the name suggests, it's about reframing in your perspective on life and realizing you always choose how you see things. You can choose to see the obstacle. We can choose to see it as the next step. And that book has had probably the most like global impact on me because it applies to every area of life. And it's just about, there's never an obstacle. There's only a path. There's only the next step. Like the mantra of the book is what stands in the way becomes the way. That's it. So that for me is hands down like where I love sending people. Psycho-cybernetics, if you've heard of that.
I know that one. Maxwell Mintz, yes.
That's all about your self-image and how your self-image is going to dictate where you go in life because you're always going to act in alignment with your self-image. So unless you can figure out how to shift that, which again, there's two ways. There's visualization, there's action. You can use both. That's a really good one. I would say Mindset by Carol Dweck is also a great book. Mindset by Carol Dweck is all about a growth. Yours is like, what are these books? That's about having a growth mindset and breaking that down. If you're familiar with a growth versus fixed mindset, she was like the pioneer, studied that. And I really dig that. So there are three ones that they're not business specifically. I just found business strategies come and go. Your mindset doesn't. And so I have clients, and I'm not going to name names or anything, but I have clients that I know, I give them good strategies sometimes, but I can see it in them that what's holding them back's up here. Yes, you need the strategies, but that goes so far. So the books I think have the most global impact wherever you are, because the strategy for you, Jono, might not be the good strategy for someone else. You're in different shoes. But I think the mindset principle is always related. My favorite podcast, yes, there's my podcast. We call it the Hustle and Fitness Podcast. Honestly, I haven't really been pushing it that hard lately, and it was very just generic personal development stuff for a while. So it's not really a mad business one yet. I'll probably get into it harder soon, but been doing more quicker, I guess, return on investment activities in my business. My favorite ones though are Tom Bilyeu. If you've heard of him, he started Quest Nutrition. He's got a podcast called Impact Theory. I love Tom. He's got better mindset than anyone I've ever heard. Andy Frisella, if you've heard of him, the MF CEO podcast.
Oh yes,
incredible. And last one is the Empire podcast with a guy called Bedros Keuilian and Craig Ballantyne. Yes. I followed them for a long time. They're probably my three favorite podcasts I listen to.
Awesome. All right, cool. Hey, Dave, that's all we've got time for today. If anyone wants to find more about you, I'll put the link to your webinar in the show notes. Is there anywhere else, website, social media, where else can people find out more about Dave Misfud?
You find me on the old Instagrams. I think it's just Dave. I think it's Dave Misfud. Misfud was taken, so I thought, why not be funny? So it's MIF Stud, STUD. It was also the name of my jersey on my U12 jersey, so I thought it was funny. But yeah, if you have any specific questions or quick stuff, or just want to say hi and that you wanted to clarify something in the podcast I went through, just hit me in the old DMs, slide in there, Dave Misfud, Facebook, just Dave Misfud. And yeah, that little webinar, the case study is good. If you've got a group fitness business you want to grow, that little webinar that John will put in the links is a good big picture of what I teach, and will give you sort of the right tools to start thinking about setting your business up the right way.
Awesome. All right. Well, Dave, that's all we got time for today. Is there anything I forgot to ask you? Anything I should have asked that didn't? Anything you want to leave us off with?
Nah, man. I think I covered everything because I just dart around. My brain works very quickly. So I think I covered it all, man. Very grateful to be on here. Very grateful to share, my lessons and my journey. I feel like I've only gotten to where I am from, again, listening to other people, mentors, coaches ahead of me. And I really like giving back to people who are there because, yeah, I feel like they carried me to that place. So more than happy to share, happy to help anyone out who has questions, and grateful to be on here, man. So thank you for having me. And I think your listeners are in the right place because I know the head you've got on your shoulders is really switched on. Every time we talk, I'm always like, this guy, yeah, he's on it. You can tell, you probably know this too. When you talk to people who get it, like, that they get it. And I've always felt it with you, man. So you people are in the right place.
Thank you. And I feel the same way about you. I can tell you get it as well. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking of working in Dave's, he's got my tick of approval. You're in good hands.